Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Well, it looks like the Ewoks took a day off, but that's okay because I brought a new friend to help me review these next set of comic books. Ladies and gentlemen, meet EU D2. EU for Expanded Universe and D2 because Disney's canon comes second. Now today, EU and I want to go over the Droids comic book series. No, not the ones by Dark Horse, the ones by Marvel that were based off the cartoon. Now, do these happen before or after the cartoon series? I don't know. Flip a coin. Yes? No? I don't think it really matters. They can be placed anywhere within the Droids comic book series. If you want, you can have the Droids series come first and these comics come second. But we're going to talk about the first 4 issues here written by Dave Manek. And the first one is called Destroyer. Now in this one, C-3PO and R2-D2 help out Jost Ellen and stopping Governor Kurg from his heavy taxation that he's putting upon the planet Dots. And he has an intimidating destroyer droid to back him up. It's kind of ridiculous, but you kind of see where this series is going. Anyway, the second issue is called Ultimate Weapon. In this one, Vilix and Tig hold Lon Id prisoner and try to force him to install a super laser on Tig's starship or something. Vilix and Tig are from the Droids cartoon series, and they're just your generic bad guys, and they're trying to get a super laser installed for whatever reason. Okay. Issue 3 is the Scarlet pilot. And this one, Ambassador Zale, who now owns the droids, hire C-3PO and R2-D2 to watch over his son, who wants to be a space pirate one day. And of course, he goes to join space pirates and finds out that this is not what he wanted. And C-3PO and R2 have to go to the rescue. Now, the art in these, I just want to mention, is not very good. It's cartoony. Don't expect decent art. These are comic books based off the cartoon, so R2-D2 and C-3PO are drawn just as they are from the cartoon series, and so it looks a little wonky here. Just to let you know, art is not a reason to get to reading these books. All right, so in the 4th novel, in the 4th issue, and this is kind of important here, R2-D2 and C-3PO are trying to deliver Prince Plus back to King Gungus, but and it's to establish peace between these two. The prince got lost and he found his way to the rival planet in some way. I can't remember. There will be war if his son's not delivered. So R2-D2 and C-3PO are hired to take the prince back to the dad, the king. And while they're there, they find a rip in space and they zip into this, netherworld where there's like no stars. And then they find a tear and they go straight through it, and then they find they are on Endor with the Ewoks. It's a crossover with the Ewoks comic books, which I'll talk about that crossover later, because Ewoks, the cartoon comic, was going on at the same time as the Droids comic, and they thought, of course, it's a good idea to do a crossover between Droids and Ewoks. But let me talk about this rip in space. I find it interesting because that rip in space could be other space, if you think about it. Now, it was never explained like this, but it could be. Other space, as you know from West End Games novels, was that other dimension that, basically nothing exists. They've wiped out the stars. So did R2 and C-3PO slip into other space and then slip back in? Someone could really tie that together. I don't think anyone's made that connection, but when I read it, the first time I got it, I went, ooh, did they go to, is this going to be an other space, adventure? No. West End Games hadn't even come up with the idea yet. But you could say that make a little bit of explanation of why there's this rip in space here, and that they go, do they time travel? Do they what? I don't know. It happens at the same time, and then they go to meet the Ewoks. Now, like I said, I'm going to talk about that crossover later when I talk about the Ewoks comic books. But for right now, the Droids comics are just based off the cartoon series. So if you are a fan of the cartoon series, You would probably like these. Me, myself, I did not have Star Wars droids growing up in my area. The Ewoks cartoon played in my region, but droids did not. So I didn't even know anything about this. But anyway, folks, we'll see you next time with another video.